ene player niet werkt. Alright.
And we're live. Okay, what's the weird thing is the audio capture 2 or 1?
Is dit de laatste match van de dag? Ja.
Ja, de laatste match van de dag. Oké, we hebben de. Oké, kijk. Zijn we nu live? En het is tegen Nordia Lacrosse.
Nordia Lacrosse tegen Hamburg. Nordia links left, Hamburg right. Oh, we have a commentator back.
En welk land is Nordia?
Nordia. Do you know which country is Nordia from?
I think Sweden.
Sweden?
Pretty sure they're from Sweden. That was easy enough.
But I don't know.
Sound on that?
Which one is it again? The red one, isn't it? Yeah. Alright, phone.
Hello, so here we are with the second game of the Kangaroo Cup in the men's competition. In blue, Nordia, calling from Sweden to my knowledge, albeit I might be wrong. And in white, Hamburg Warriors from northern Germany. Hamburg bring a bench of 4. Nordia hopefully have a car on the motorway somewhere. And we are awaiting a likely quite close game. Not quite sure what we're waiting for. On the left hand side you can see the goal. The goal is being fixed. It has been tested about half a dozen times in the last game, and here we are for the first face-off. Number 7, Hamburg, likely Moritz Spiegel, I'm not sure. And the ball's out. 5 has it. Possession wide. And a physical right from 3, almost selling his stick. But number 5 and White gets on it, has tons of space. And here we go. Hamburg is a very well coached team. You can see on the bench the man with the beard and the shaven head being their head coach. There's also the German under 19 head coach who had a very good tournament with his team in Prague at the under 19 championship, beating England and losing it to it narrowly in the final. Here comes 16. That's a shot Hamburg typically likes. And one of the strengths that Hamburg bring to the plate is their ability to minimize unforced errors. That being said, Lacrosse is a game of momentum. An advantage of 3, 4, or even 5 goals is not necessarily enough to win the game, in particular because if you win the face-off and then move the ball swiftly to the other side, you can actually score quite shortly. 8 on the dodge, reload, times it, and another quality shot from 7. It is this capability to create the 2-on-1 situation where the ball pressures the goal and defensive help has to be sent to the ball. That opens up a shooter in another position and would allow a quality shot. Neither of the first 2 shots were on target, but there is a lot of time left. And if you're the Nordia team, you want to accept the fact that maybe you have to do a little bit more. And again, 1 with a screen and some physicality from 11 in blue, but nothing that Hamburg couldn't handle. So 16 on the move, and here we go again. 12 again with a screen, being statically on the ball, looking to say, also called a pick. Very prominent in Canadian lacrosse, and there is a good save from the keeper, and the referees let fly the crease violation. 7 steals the ball on the move, broken play, 9 on the shot, and the keeper one more time. And Hamburg wins also this ground ball. 16 on the shot, and the keeper eats also this one. 3 saves in a row. Now here we go for a clear. 15 in blue looking to move. And the goalie might want to be careful here. Just dodge 16. And likely you would see Hamburg now take their time, control the ball. And that's precisely what happens. They rotating their personnel on. 7 of white marshalling that offense. So 23 in white on the wing. Moving it to X. That's a place behind goal. And then on the wing. One of the key things in lacrosse is the ability to move the ball behind goal. Because there is a fair amount of space behind the goal. You can go to however an unforced error like here can quickly create the turnover. And here is 2-on-1 situation, but Nordia would like to possess the ball a little bit. The more you have the ball yourself, that's a very good look from 16. 11 looks to move again, and here we see Nordia create a quality possession. It's a crisp, fast amount of passing, and they have 0 subs, so everyone that's here has played defense before, other than our 3 attackers who seem that bit fresher. Nobody needs to be a hero here. Five shoots and 7. One more ground ball for him. He just had a good steal on the goal. And here we are. There's 4 back and 4 in white. 23 going over. Doesn't quite move the ball as crisp as you would like. And this is exactly the sort of considered, planned, contemplated approach that eventually creates a disadvantage for a team without substitution. Playing defense is hard. And if you don't have breaks, eventually even Superman gets tired. Unless the other thing Hamburg does effectively here is backing up the ball. 16 had a good back up before as well, so that minimizes a main source of unforced errors or turnovers, namely those of shots without a backup where you miss the goal and whoever is closest then receives the ball, and Hamburg makes sure someone is here. So 11 on the ball, looking to go. Physical, good defense, 2 in there. Look at the defensive approach, and they continually play well on the pick. So the pick is not necessarily on the defensive player, but the coordination between the guy off the ball and on the ball is not there. That was a very, very nice little swing pass straight past him into the tiniest of passes. So 8 calling 2. That could mean that they're looking for a 2-man play or what you could also call a little big play. So the screen is behind goal. He will run past the screen. The screen moves around, looks to redistribute. No, it's not there. Okay, that creates the oversight. And that goalie really deserves a round of applause here because he did not see that until the last minute and got his stick down and stopped it right there and then. But it's, oh, the referees let that one fly. That was lucky. And here we go for Hamburg. One more time, nice and clean and easy on the clear, using the goalie, creating the 2 versus 1. Wide offside in substitution, making it a blue ball. It's 0-0. It's 4 quarters in the game. And Nordia, if they can score here, that gives them a first step towards a W or a win in this game. Hamburg, arguably one of the more highly ranked teams in this tournament of European Championship teams. Nordia, definitely one of the teams that can achieve a fair bit at this tournament. If 10 guys are enough for 3 days, remains to be seen. 21 went to the rack and got a shot off, but also got shifted a bit for that. And that pass was a little bit too fast. So that long pole did over and back. Ball can't go back. The long pole had touched it. And here we go. 23 shoots it and 8 backs it up. So these sorts of backup things are the most important thing.
Get it.
Okay, so here we go. Hamburg with the ball, driving from behind. So the main thing is air under the ball. They move the ball. Nice crisp passes straight into the stick. 16 and look at 8 one more time. This is easily the fifth or sixth time that someone has set a screen, turned around, and became open for a pass. Eventually, they will score from that. Whether Nordia are comfortable with a keeper seeing these shots remains to be seen. So far, that keeper has been exceptional. So here we go with a dodge. Look for 16, fading every time. So fade shot. And that's not an indication of a strong functioning defense. That behind the back shot, let's call that a possession shot and making sure that you get the ball back on X and be positive and constructive about this. So Hamburg on the ball, 12 behind goal, 11 looking to set the screen, sets the screen left, ball carrier moves past, get the short stick, looks to progresses, draws a double, shoots, and there's a play on, and because he drops into the crease, it becomes a blue ball. The Hamburg coach is now calling for his team to shut out the shorties. So they want the long poles to run that, but one of said short sticks now has the ball. He takes the outside lane. So when he runs right past 8, he's lucky there. If there is a long pole waiting in the bench, he will get cleaned out. That happened to a certain Max Seabald in his. That was a lovely little check there. That one is one for Bryn Kasnich and the highlights. So no, that's not it. That's just him being out of position and all the work and none of the glory. If you're not doing the last bit right, none of it else works. Lovely little roll. Oh, but here we go. And that's how this works. Here we go. Numbers for blue. Slightly broken play. 3 going down. And 3 has drawn the flag. 3 3 is Daly Connor. Connor Daly. And so 24 and white not happy with the call. Running off, that would be Mr. Kleinhampel.
This is Nordia. This is
We are now looking at a man-up opportunity for a team that is full of competent stakeholders. 23 Nordia on the ball. That's Philip Wang. 18 on the ball. That's Thomas Riedenstam. Riedenstam on the ball. Philip Wang on the ball. Takes the shot. Looks to feed. Doesn't have. Off 26 white. And it's a loose ball that ends up blue. All the hard work one more time. If he swings the ball, the keeper really takes that one. And it's still a white ball. Got to kill that penalty as long as you hold on to that ball. Questionable whether that was all a safe check, but the referees agree. And right now we're looking at a situation where Hamburg has the advantage. They're man down, but they are not getting pressured by Nordia because they play with 10 players and pressuring the ball takes a lot of energy that they can expend, and there wasn't enough penalty time left to capitalize on that. That's one of the many small factors that playing with a short-handed team without substitution players makes it harder. 7 on the ball, and it appears they are now playing a zone. So that was apparently more coincidental than anything, and in response to the setup, 23 on the ball, moving across, 16 on the ball. And here we are, 7 carrying one more time. So here we go with the ball. Nordia clearing with Christopher Val. And that's quarter. So it ain't all that many goals right now. That is in particular because number 10 at Nordia, their goalkeeper Christopher Wall has a very, very good day and is a complete reflection of his name. He is a veritable wall, and I do not apologize for this rather great pun. Hamburg carves out some advantage here. They have more of the ball, they move it better and more effectively, and they have the capability to move uh, towards a favorable outcome if they continue to do that. Nordia has to retain possession more. They definitely have the capability to score, and they definitely have the capability to win. They, however, need to make sure that they are in control of the game, and presently that would not quite work in their way. So, so the referees are having a conversation too, and if my mobile phone is correct, we have 16 people viewing. I will every now and then look at the chat, so if you do have a question or do have a commentary, then do give us a shout out, and particularly if you like a fair bit of European, fairly serious club lacrosse around here. Don't forget, all of these teams are national champions. That means, for the case of Hamburg, they had to prepare for the better part of 10 months. And for a lot of these players, it's playing for their club and also playing for their country. So this isn't just turning up and picking up a stick and play. This involves a fair amount of commitment to a number of things, and it also involves a fair amount of preparation. So for Hamburg, we're definitely looking at Moritz Spiegel on 7, who had a good game so far and has given a lot of possession to the ball. 23 from Nordia. Mr. Wang will have to find a way to limit that possession. So referee sets them up. Here comes the call. And Kluince cleanly to himself. Straight for the pop. Broken play around. And one more time. Oh, and as much as nice, that was a nice little finish. The goalie just stuffed that shot. So he's still good. Long pole has always a very dangerous shot because of the higher point of release and the longer fulcrum he can work with. So 8 Hamburg on the ball. That's Adam Eakins moved to Germany together with his father Bob Eakins, who now lives in Berlin. Adam Eakins also played for Germany. And here's the first goal. It wasn't a question of if, it just a question of when, and that is 16 in white Sörenspiegel, if I saw that correctly. So you just heard the bench the bench or the head coach ask how many shots do we need, and it was a low bouncer that beat the keeper. That is the hardest to stuff, and the keeper can only make so many saves, and he easily sits on a 50% plus record right now. So we'll just wait for the next stages in the game. We're waiting for people to get ready. Nordia somewhat slow to get to the wing, and 5 is asking for change. Can't have it, so the middies and the attack will have to change. 7 wins it clearly one more time. Same play as before. Ball coming down. Here's one more. That was a little bit too pretty, and if it goes out of bounds, which it does, the coach will not necessarily appreciate that. Behind the back passes are not necessarily the bad way to play. It just can draw the irritation of some players if there was an easier option and you use a technically more challenging move that then doesn't deliver the same result that the easier move would have given you. 8 on the ball clear, and Hamburg doesn't like short 6 having the ball and gets closer to them. Look at 2 at the front. He has tons of space compared to 18. 11 is allowed to cut down, is however not allowed to cut down to the ball. 17 stays close. They force the long pole to have the ball, and the long pole now faces the long pole versus long pole matchup. That's not favorable. And 6 gets the strip, 15 on the ball, and he is all over that man. And that is a good hard check. And oh, Nordia is losing that physical battle right now. And it's a blue ball. 15 is feeling that bit. Oh, he got away with that one. He was very close, and here is the flag down. 26 drew the first flag. We will have to work our way through that one in a little bit. In lacrosse, if the flag's down, that means you get to play a bit like, and there is a goal, and that is a maximum penalty you can draw. So 3 goes in after a bit of chaotic defense. Gets for 1 all. A little bit of rotation in the air. And number 10, the goalie, comes all the way over to say, well done. 8 wide queries what the call is. We'll see it from the referee in a minute. The referees technically should communicate back and forth. So you have one referee on our side, which is the single, and 2 referees on the far side, which are the lead and the trail. The lead is in front of the ball, and the trail is behind the ball. Every referee has specific jobs given on any given situation, and it is a really good way to get involved in one of the best sports in the world. Spiegel now, third face-off in a row, and Hamburg are doing the right thing. They're holding on to the ball, and they get a clean possession, and they're going to make Nordia expend some more energy. And yet again, they have the backup. 10 read the play, but it doesn't make that big a difference because Hamburg now substitutes again. 11 has to continue playing. 24 comes on, had a rest. And 17 comes on also and has a rest too. Ball moves across. 10 o'clock position now at the wing. Every time the ball goes behind goal, the entire mechanics of the defense change. Where the slide, the help to the ball comes from is now different. 8 should be that right now, but 8 needs to worry about 23 far and out high, who may be able to go there. So 16 has a step. 23, nice little touch, but stuffed by the keeper. Short stick on the ball. 11 running up the field, gets shut out, draws 2, goes through 2. Lucky he doesn't get it, doesn't draw a flag there. That was his helmet first and foremost. And nice little clear. So Nordia needs to hold the ball. If they try to run and gun, it is not going to end well. And this is what we look at. This is hard because they have now expended a significant amount of energy just to get to this point, and they have basically given Hamburg the ball back without need. And this is where the decision time comes into play. What are we going to do as a team? Are we going to make all the right things correctly or not? So, bit of familiar picture here. Hamburg on the ball, 16 on the rock, Mr. Spiegel. And the first thing Hamburg does when they have cleared the ball is they substitute and look at the speed that they can afford to substitute in. There is no shot clock in men's lacrosse at the European club level. It's been introduced in college. It's been in professional lacrosse forever, and it's about to be implemented in international lacrosse. But in this version of the game, you have as much time as you like. So here we go. This keeper will eat that shot all day today. He has a very good view of the ball, and if you're doing anything other than shooting at him when he's on the move or he can't see the ball, this will not work in your favor. 11 on the ball, fast feet, and he got pushed out. So here we go. Hamburg with a 2-on-1 here. 7 moves the ball. 8 carries it down on the wing, and the momentum dissipates. There's no numbers. Nordia have returned on time. Look at how Nordia are slowing down compared to the first quarter. This is crunch time. We will likely have to see some sort of change in the third quarter in terms of the score. If Hamburg want to pick in time to press and try and close out the game, best opportunity, third quarter. So one more time on the ball. Hamburg from X. Let's say he's going to look to the right. No, nice little trick play. Shoveled it through, 16 on the ball. Good work. And one more time. Hamburg have backed up the ball. I can't stress this enough. The fundamentals win the game, and they certainly secure their protection, their possession time. So here we go. 16 on the ball, and Spiegel in the warm-up. I saw Spiegel shoot about 25, 30 shots, and he had easily 10 pipes. So that's number 11 today. Unfortunately, here we go. So Nordia will want to sit on the ball, and the referees disapprove of the helmet. So the reason they're this concerned about that is, and everyone who plays lacrosse should listen right now, if you wear a loose helmet, and someone lands a takeout on you, you will break your jaw and you will eat soup for 8 weeks. So strap your helmet down. It's two ways you learn that. One way is painful, the other one is just a chin strap. That's a nice little touch by 23. And look at how he has one dominant hand. So here we go. 11 on the ball. He's tried to clear the ball a number of times. There's Alex Edenau. I apologize if I didn't pronounce that correctly. And this is the sort of, ooh, that hurt. I'd see if 3 is good to get up. There is no spares. There is no spares. He's okay though. I was worried his knee might have twisted, but it did not. He just disapproves of the ground. AstroTurf is the sort of surface we're playing on here. Requires a particular kind of shoe, and if you slide along it, it does create a bit of a friction burn, which is quite uncomfortable. There is a pass coming down, 8 on the ball. One of the things Hamburg does well is, as you saw with this pass, is to have an assurance in place for almost everything that they do. So if they make a pass from the wing up to a cutter on the field, they make it in a lane that involves a person behind the cutter. So in the event that your guy misses the ball, you're in the prime position to get it back. If they take a shot, they back it up. And from here, we can see that there's a few more things to look at. So 8 on the ball. Hamburg are measuring their chances. They're not quite sure from where they're looking to attack, but it's not a question of if, just when. Here we go. 11 on the ball. Look through, little shovel pass. 24, step down shot, pipe, and the referee calls it in. Uh, we don't have a replay right now. I can tell you that I did not see it, but this is the lead referee, and one of the main jobs of the lead referee is be at the level of the goal line extended. Really important line in lacrosse, and he has the exact view of that and will be able to see it. So our technical team seems to consider that it bounced out and then from the effet on the ball, that it bounced from the cross pipe in and then back out. That's quite possible because it's a completely rubber ball. So if you play lacrosse at home and your stick skills aren't so secure and it's your parents' house, odds are your parents' insurance knows that. So, and now we're seeing Nordia try to create a more physical approach towards the face-off, and they win that. So 23 on the ball. 6 looking to pressure. Hard check on the arm. 23 looking for an outlet. Finds it far side. Bounce pass. 15 on the ball. 23 needs rest far side, so 15 carries it. 15 stays on the ball. Can play on field because there was a backup, and that is the sort of unlucky little snap catch that makes it harder to succeed. All the commitment there, but unfortunately no catch. So here we go. 16 hard in the back. One more check, but 18 turned it in. So 16 coming back. So one more hidden ball trick. Someone wants to be like Hamster one more time, but again, the defense read it. 7 on the ball. And in all fairness, Hamburg have the cards in their hands, but it's only 1 goal margin, so something has to happen. See how 5 here gets a look. Unlucky on the GB. Just about get away there. 7 Spiegel on the ball. Their go-to guy so far. 23 drives. That's one piece of defense right there. Nice knockdown shot. Oh, that was good. Nice. 8 got the loose ball, and as we said earlier, you need to make that goalie not see the ball, and that sort of chaos around the crease will make it that much harder to read the play. So here we are, 2 goal margin. No players in the bench. Hamburg winning every single category. We need to change something, and we do it with diminishing resources. So 23 comes back to the play. Philip Wang taking the axe, and it is a well-timed timeout. Hamburg confident. They know what they can do, and they have shown that they have the capability to execute on this. Nordia need to find a way to make the numerical disadvantage disappear. We will be back in 20 seconds. And we're back. It is halftime here in the beautiful city of Ghent, one of the more amazing parts of the world to be in. If you haven't been here, do visit. They have a number of beautiful churches, some very good beer. I'm allowed to say that. I tried that yesterday at an outstanding grapefruit IPA. And it is just a very nice part of the world. Over us is a fair set of clouds, and we're all imploring them to not pour down on us before we go to the barbecue that's being organized here tonight. Overall, the event is very professionally organized. We have live streaming, obviously, but that's maybe 2% of all the work that has gone into this event. Ghent has hosted it for I think now 7 years in a row, and their experience and competence shows every year a little bit more because they have the chance to learn. So here we can see clearly communicated directions to the field, so you can actually get here by bus, which is nice because it means you don't use your car, and it means you can, have one more beer with your friends without having to take a taxi there and back. We are looking at a score of Nordia 1, Hamburg 3. The difference in the score is also visible in the difference of the numbers. You see a big white cloud on the right-hand side. That will be Hamburg up by 2. And on the left, with a couple of people seated and slightly exhausted, that would be Nordia. Nordia, however, have one X factor. They have the goalie. They have Mr. Wall. This is his actual name, and we couldn't be more excited to have this little play on offer because the goalie has made about 8 to 9 stops that, by all accounts, he should be making once a year, and he's done them in the first half. Hamburg, however, have found a way to remedy that by focusing more on time and space shots, and also because they got one scrappy goal in front of the crease. The key to win is for both teams A, possession. Here, advantage Hamburg because Seven has won just about all face-offs. I think he's not won one on a procedure call. And that makes it hard. The counterpoint to that is the Swedish goalie who can actually make the stop, run the clear, and the capability of Nordia that pound for pound can work against Hamburg, and they also carry some weight around. They can actually go through a defender one-on-one and get that goal. Also, 2 goals ain't all that much. However, the main thing that we need to answer right now is what are we going to see at the face-off? If I were Nordia, I would contemplate to maybe 2 or 3 more times, give it a whirl, and see if you can actually win this. And if it's just not there, you need to accept the fact that Hamburg wins at the face-off, and you need to just make it a 50-50. We saw this in the NCAA finals this year, where the consideration for Yale having T.D. Erlin as a best forgo in the country in the Division One lacrosse was deemed a complete advantage, and the opposition managed to turn everything into 50-50 scrap and just fought their way to possession and consequently winning the game. Here we go. Face off. And they've stopped the pinch and pop, and here we go. That's it. That's a 50-50 we're looking for. That's better. That's much better for Nordia. It's not quite the outcome that they wanted, but they were almost there. They actually had won the ball. So Spiegel substitutes off. If you have a view of the box, see whether he actually changes his stick, although that's unlikely, but he just might. All right. So Hamburg with the ball. Nordia in what looks like his own defense. That is the correct adjustment to not having numbers. His own defense favors a goalie because it makes it harder to find a clean, close shot from the crease and allows more shots from the outside, which this keeper is very comfortable taking. 24. So by cycling the ball through X, they are making the defense rotate and adjust. As you can see, with a big stick 15 having to shift all the way back to X and then go out. Here we go. Now they've overloaded the zone, they shot, and they made the goalie move. So 24 on the score, and then from the side you could hear the Hamburg supporters. One Nordic guy on the floor. They did have it quite far. So we will just have to see how the next bit goes. 3 goals isn't that terrible. So Spiegel, one more time. Can he win it now? If he wins it cleanly, Hamburg gets a big possession and potentially a score. That would make life difficult. Nordia need to find a way to get the ball. So 18 versus 18 far side wing, 5 versus 5 on this side of the ring. That's a rare combination. What are the odds of that? I don't know. There are 10 players on one side and what 14 on the other. So 1 over 10 to 1 over 14. That's a 1 in 140 chance. That's pretty cool. Spiegel on the ball, moves it to the doorstep, goes in, and that's exactly what we're talking about. 23 had the ball at the doorstep, but at a close angle. The keeper read the play. As he moved in towards the crease after the slide came to him, he increased his angle and forced the goalie to move with him, which opened up the goal and created the opportunity to score. So we're facing a dire situation now in terms of Nordia. The one thing they need to achieve is stop the bleeding. If they're going to concede 5-4 goals now, it's all but over in the fourth quarter. Winning in the third quarter means normally winning the game. So Spiegel on the ball wins it. So that's 2 in a row now that he got that. 5 on the ball. No harm done yet. To four goal margin, entirely achievable. If Hamburg scores, this will 15 is angry. He wants that ball. He goes after him. There we go. But that was a bit out of commitment, and honestly, he just looked dangerous. He didn't do all that much. A poke check or two would have added to the fear factor here. But let's be honest, 15 is not a small man. Not sure if you want to dodge on that guy. So 11 on the ball. Hammer all the time in the world. 23 isolated on the wing, 16 on the go. This wing dodge and pass down forces the defense to adjust. That takes time and energy. So one more time. Oh, and 15 with a courageous play. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. That could have been it. That could have been the one breakaway play that we were after. We just quite missed it. So one more time for Hamburg on the ball. 23 on the ball, had just a nice little goal off the crease. 5 on the ball, 12. He has a bit more of an edge now. 15 is not quite as fast on the ball anymore. 15 goes, could have thrown check there. 12 loses footing. 15 does a good job of denying the immediate way to goal, but you would want to stick on the hands a bit more. You would want him to commit a little bit more just to make that pass that much harder, because that's exactly what we're talking about. 2 on the ball, going after. Off the screen, offload, and a what we would call in the UK a worm burner is a shot that's very strong roll, and it just creates that. So now we're looking at 6-1 Hamburg, 5 goal margin, 2 quarters left. Nordia changed from man to zone, but didn't quite do that, and they don't have the personnel to adjust when the ball goes to X. That makes it significantly harder to achieve a lot of things. So here we go. 11 and 15 on the wing. It's a slight change of personnel on the midfield. 23 back at face-off. And 18 wins the ball cleanly after seeing it going on a 6. 24 carrying and familiar situation. Hamburg on the ball, uncontested. Good 15, 16 yards outside a goal. Putting the ball behind goal. And then now their personnel is on. Observe now some sort of communication on what sort of offense they're looking to play. It is somewhat scripted, but not entirely. They are the days of completely scripted plays are over. The knowledge of the game has spread too far, and it is too easy to know that Blue Alpha Thunder 5 means this or that on the offense, and you can adjust to it. So you're more looking at creating easily maneuvers that are easy to execute with a particular focus on something. So say you focus more on drive the ball from behind goal, like here. So look for the screen. He goes off the other end. It's not quite there. Goes there. Now, here we have a bit of, that's a mismatch short stick on the big boy. GB and the GB. The GB battle is the first thing Nordia have to win. If they can't win the face-off, and if they can't win the unforced error battle, and the referee goes that way. When the referee makes that sign, that means we need a new lacrosse ball. We said in the early game jokingly that's when the cost of the tournament went up by $1.50. That's how much a lacrosse ball is. So if you play lacrosse, don't just buy one lacrosse ball. Buy yourself about 100 for a year, because I have a nasty habit of bouncing to where you can't get to. So 24 and white on the ball. Nordia is not going after it, and that's not a bad shout. They're playing the odds here, and the odds aren't looking great, but you got to play them. 23 on the ball. Needle push, but this is the second time in a row that Nordia are not picking up the ball whilst being relatively uncontested. So still loose ball in front of goal. No one sees it. Two hard checks coming down on 24. And here we go. 24 gets it, and 23 goes down. Does he go down intentionally? I hope so, because if not, he would be hurt. No, he's not hurt. All right, that's good. First thing we want to see, same number of bodies on and off the field, everyone happy and healthy afterwards. Lacrosse looks a lot more brutal than it is. The main thing that you draw away from lacrosse is actually bruises. And bruises you can brag in the bar, but they don't really hurt you all that much. And most of the time you don't quite realize until the next day, and you have a hard time getting out of bed when you go to university or your job or something. Um, Actually, statistically in the US, the biggest risk of injury in lacrosse is from twists and turns in uncontested situations. So your ankle and knee injuries. Only then we have traumatic injury. That was a nice little look, but that was not the right decision. And he gets away with that one because they do not want to run. 18 under pressure, reading the play. That must be the goal. That must be the goal. And they can't do it, but they back it up. That's good. That's exactly the right choice. Narrow angle, tough to score, but he saw the backup, he went for it, and he spent energy on a tight play. That is exactly how we want to go. There wasn't all that much he could do. There were two sticks trailing behind him, so he had to keep the stick in front of him and move through to get to a quality scoring position. So here we go. Nordia on the ball. All you have to do is hold the ball. Hold the ball is all that matters for them right now. They're tired, they're exhausted, and they shouldn't worry too much about whether it's 5 or 6 goals because at the end of the day, it's less than 10 is more than one kind of margin. And 5 just about kept it in the play there. Here we go. 6 goes after him. 5 has a look. And that's the second shot in a row. That's good news for Nordia that they managed to produce this and they managed to win the individual matchup. You could ask Hamburg if they feel the need to adjust defensively and get an earlier slide going. However, they are up by 5 and they are fresh, so they can rely on their one-on-one defense and see where it takes them. Is also that goalie is the national team goalie for Germany at times, so they should be able to go somewhere with that. So here we go, and 3 on the ball. Where do the referees send it? They send it blue. That's 3 shots in a row produced by Nordia. That's a lot more than what we saw in the last couple of minutes, and that definitely helps them out. Blue on the ball, 11 behind, goes to the wing. 2 big sticks on the ball and just in its immediate vicinity. Short stick on again on the long pole. They have managed to keep the ball on a matchup with a long pole for 3 passes in a row now. Hamburg looking to pressure, deflected. 18 goes it. Two blue on the. That's the time when you spend your energy. That's the time. That could be a push call advantage. And 6 in white after pushing 18 over has his stick thrown away and doesn't appreciate that, but the referees do not really care because it was off the ball. Everyone was safe, and that's all that matters. So, however, if there were to be a bit of tit for tat, it could be from there. 3 on the ball, nice and physical, steps around easily. Oh, that was a beautiful goal. 11 in blue. Genuine really produces that, and the defense in for Hamburg has to ask the question if they are going to contribute here, because if at this point of the game the attacker can run through 3 guys uncontested, we're going to have to ask a question of what happened. It's a very understandable thing. They didn't really have to play all that much defense, so for them it's in a way minute 2 of the game. But at the same time, the the balance of the game has shifted. It's a momentum change we can see here. If they win this face-off and they get a quick goal, it's a whole different ballgame, but they cannot win it. Spiegel gives them the protection that they need in terms of possession, and Hamburg goes to the crease, mishandles the ball. Goalie on the ball, has it, and the goalie clocks on the field. You can see the man at the side. The reason he looks away from the whole thing is that he is supposed to only focus on that. Also gives the referee an extra obligation to look after the clock man so he doesn't walk into anything. So Hamburg on the ball. Last shot in this quarter. Let's see what they can do. Here we go. Here comes a pass, and that was a shot, and it won't count. No, it will not work. Hamburg disapprove of that, but they can disapprove as much as they like. When the referee calls something in lacrosse, it's 99.9999% final. And the one time it's not final is when you happen to have some sort of replay going for yourself. Or you're playing in the PLL and you have a challenge card, or in the MLL. I think they have that too by now. So here we are. Uh, Hamburg 6, Nordia 2. Nordia had the momentum at the in the last quarter substantially more than before. So odds on, Hamburg will win this. The key to success for them, continuing to win the faceoffs through 7. For Nordia, it's about finding a way to get the ball and then finding a way to retain it and produce a quality goal like they have just done. In terms of our possession time, we really, really need Nordia to continue doing on offense what they did. On defense, we also need them to commit and then capitalize on the GB. They had a couple of times where the ball was dislodged, but then they didn't quite get to it in time and didn't quite pick it up, and that is what has hurt them. So one more time at the faceoff, white 7 against blue 23. We are seeing slightly dark conditions, so we will have to see whether the lights will come on or not, but for now it is enough daylight, and we will proceed with the face-off. And Spiegel won it clearly. Coming down, 23 on the wing, free. Has one more skip pass over to 8. 8 can move in. 8 still on the ball. 7 on the ball. 8 on the ball. And here we are. Hamburg swaps to personnel, looks to shoot. Shot fake, and a nice step down. Got to appreciate the initiative here. Very unscripted. When you're substituting, you normally don't do anything until you're there. However, the approach did produce a quality shot. The wind is picking up a little bit here, so if you do hear a lot of background noise, then do tell us. So 16 on the ball, 2-8. Nordia in no rush for the ball. 4 goals is doable. They just need to deny the score and produce score on their own. Here we go for 16, moving across, moving into space, looking to fade through. And that was a good physical approach, but 8 neatly sidestepped that and produced a quality boundary shot. So, ball from behind, 23 picking it up. White moving their way through. White on the right wing. 23, 16, sidestep, low to high shot, back up by Hamburg. Calm and consistent is the way to win this game for Nordia and for Hamburg. If Hamburg keeps doing what they're doing, it's fine. The longer they hold the ball, the less time Nordia have to score, and eventually they will have to pressure the ball. Moreover, within the rulebook, the only thing they can really ask for if Hamburg are making no effort to go to the goal, and that is not the case, it's a stall warning, which still gives them a lot of space to work with, and they have the personnel that can operate in that. 12, going to goal, turn the corner, free net, and a good finish. That was a very good finish. We're hearing the Hamburg supporters enjoying the show. So we're beginning to see the impact of having zero substitution players. Nordia are slow to get back. They are slow to move through, and they rotate their midfield and attack personnel to different spots. They should have a timeout left. That'll be precious, and I would say it's either if Hamburg scores one more time or within the next couple of minutes. Spiegel wins it cleanly off the clamp, gets it straight back to 18. 18 goes through. They go for the juggler now. Get a goal, and you win this. And there you are, 18 on the score and 11 with a late little niggly push that didn't help anyone and now makes matters worse. You've conceded 2 goals, and to add to it, we see 1-1 with a slash. Okay, so with a slash for 1 minute, that makes life very difficult now. So the referees are clarifying the call. The guy you see in front of the bench right now is the one conveying the call. Double one blue is about to take a seat. The penalty only runs if if he's in the bin and the penalty and the ball is live. The ball is only live if someone has started the play with a whistle. So at this point, the penalty is not running. It'll only start, or should only start, if the bench do what they should be doing with a whistle. Penalty runs. 1 minute. 23 moves. 23 makes the adjustment we anticipated. He knows he doesn't win that, so he goes immediately for the body and prevents him from sidestepping him and going there. 8 has the ball. 18 with a cross check. Albeit the legal kind. 23 runs around, denied by 10. 10 on the ball. The goalie is back in his momentum. The moment that they don't, oh, and then it's an unlucky fling out of the stick. May want to look into that. Oh, that hurt. If you're blue now, you want a ball and a timeout. If you're blue, you want the ball and a timeout. But you're, oh, that should have been a call because we heard that here. And why is no one calling the timeout? Okay, it's a little bit late now. 8 on the ball again. So momentum swing for Nordia, not capitalized. Oh, 8 and 18 didn't enjoy each other's companies right there. Goalie has another save, although there will be about €5 note big worth of a bruise on his right calf for that. Hamburg moving the ball. 23 on the rock. 11 time. 8 on the rock. And a neat little shovel pass. And the goalie doesn't want to pick it up anymore. Is the goalie hurt? I hope not. Over and back. Over and back. Was over the line. But they didn't call it, and when they don't call it, they don't call it. Referees are like the weather, no point to complain. If you're getting rained on, you get rained on. If it's sunny, it's sunny. If the ref makes a call, or not. So we go, 8 on the ball. Same situation as before. 6-goal margin, Hamburg. Not necessarily in any hurry, but they do want to make sure that they are getting somewhere on the defense. And eventually, Nordia is going to have to go for broke and try and recover the ball. Every second Hamburg has the ball, closes the door that bit more. And the lights have just come on. That's not always what you want it to be, and there you go. So the issue that you're seeing here is that the goalie tracks the ball through his vision like we try to do, albeit he does it whilst knowing that he will be shot at. If you change the lighting conditions in a heartbeat, you may give the goalie the sort of tiny disadvantage to not see the ball in time. Um, Practically, how could you do this better? Well, you wouldn't want this to happen in the final game. The final game, just leave the lights on from the beginning, and then you don't have that problem. And if you have to switch them on during the game, you can think about what you want to do. So there is a timeout called. It is called by Blue. Blue need to make a decision what they want to do. They're down by a big margin, and they want to see what's the next step. Thing is, they can win this game. It's unlikely, but they can win it. They're physically there. They're fast enough, if not consistently faster, but if they make the right dashes at the right time, they can get there. And more importantly, they have every opportunity to score a bunch of goals. 7 goals isn't the world, and there is a fair bit of time left in the game, if not infinite amounts thereof. So the question that we need to ask ourselves as Nordia right now is what can we do differently to turn this around? And Hamburg needs to figure out what Nordia will do. So realistically, Nordia will try pressure the ball because they will need the ball to score. Hamburg should produce longer possessions. Kind of do the same thing, just give yourself 3, 4 more nice easy passes at the beginning. Beyond that, there is no real need to do much differently. And then for our viewers that don't know lacrosse so well, you can see the referee's head right now pointing nowhere. That's when no one has the ball. If you take the face, if you take a timeout in possession, some referees will put the hat down with the cap of the hat pointing in the direction that the ball was owned. So if blue shoots on white from left to right and blue takes the timeout, you'll put the hat on there pointing in the direction that blue is going to shoot. That helps you understand that because to clarify that, if you're refereeing about 10 games on a tournament day, you eventually see a big blur of numbers running back and forth, and they all like bright and dark colors, and that's sort of it. So 23, face off. This one counts. Here we go, and he has it. He has it. Oh, that was a nice little touch, and he's 15. Good little. Oh, and and 15. Two flags. Two flags down. We will see what happens. We'll wait for the referees to do that. The sort of situation of frustration definitely at the back end of that. Hamburg rushed into that a little bit very physically, and they were looking at that. Let's see what we convey. Look at the referee in the middle. He's looking at the lead referee. There is an unsportsmanlike. That's a 2 arms to 1-3. So push 30 seconds. And 1-5 blue. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Taking a minute. So there were personal and technical fouls in lacrosse, and personal and technical fouls in lacrosse uh, are different in as much as the personal fouls are more dangerous, and particularly sportsmanlike conduct is not an appreciated call. I didn't like that brush one bit, but here we are. So if you have two fouls at the same time, they're called simultaneous fouls. It's a fancier word for at the same time, to be honest, but the most important thing is if you have two pushes, for instance, it's a minor call for shoving someone when you shouldn't have without actually endangering health and sanity. Then there are two simultaneous two fouls at the same time, i.e. simultaneous, and they cancel each other out. You can have this for any number of fouls at the same time. However, you get one personal in there, and they all count. So the moment that here the moment that you see the personal foul happen, all the fouls matter. So that's why both the Hamburg player with the technical foul and the Nordia player had to sit the penalty. The Hamburg penalty has now expired. The Nordia penalty has not, I would wager. However, number 15 picks up a short stick instead of a long pole, and he comes on, and here we are, number 10. 15 did a good job in moving on the field, and unfortunately they can't control the ball. It's unfortunate because Nordia are doing all the right things. They're the right team in the right place. Just a few things don't quite go their way. It's really unfortunate here. So whereas 7 there easily controlled the ball. That's a hard check. 10 on the ball. He has 4 seconds in the crease to clear it. Some pressure on the ball is needed now from Hamburg, but they take their time. They killed the fast break. That's the first thing. Riding in lacrosse speak, the effort to kill the opponent's fast counterpart is a very important part. So there was an offside call of sorts, and Hamburg have the keeper out of the cage, and they can't quite produce. Um, and someone was in the crease, so it is now a blue ball. Quite sure how that happened, but again, I'm quite far away from that, and like the weather, we're not going to complain. We're just going to move on. That's a hard check. You want to talk to your player about doing that rather than a lift check. A lift check achieves same or better for zero risk, whereas a slap check like that may be called a slash. Nordia need time, and he has time to. Oh, the goalie got tested there, but was up to the mark. 23. Oh, and 16 has some fuel left in the tank. But Nordia wisely stay out of it. Off a blue. 16 pushes, 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 pushes. Ah, all the work, and then it's a one-handed ground ball, and unfortunately it doesn't quite work. The other thing is down there is a lot of leaves on the field, and unfortunately that makes it that much harder to go. So 16, man, that guy has legs, and he's still there. Got to him in the end, but 16 and White on the other side is there. And now here we go. Mortaring down. Going through. 8 on the run. Has a look. That's a brush. Lucky. There is a flag. There is a flag. That's what Hamburg wanted. And that's another brush. Lucky they didn't call that. That's the goal. And 23 scores. This is not the turn of events you want from a big, big hustle play that doesn't quite pan out to conceding a goal over a good hustle play on the other side, and to add insult to injury, you draw a foul. Arguably was a call I can fully understand because we did not we saw the stick hit the head, but you need to ask the question to Nordia what they're going to do now. 2 goals scored, 10 conceded, or 9 conceded. Well, but here we go. 23 on the ball. It's not a lot of time left. Don't let him have it easily. That's the start. Don't let him have it easily. Here we go. 7 out. That will do. 23. Neatly done. Get to the crease. 4 on the dice. No clarity on who has it. 23. And Mr. Wall lives up to his name. You have to give it to him. And they get away with that call. That is what we're looking at right now. A blue ball. Hamburg going for the jugular. They're going to pressure ride this. There are 3 goes to clear over. They put the shorty on the ball, and the long pole has it. Keeper is free. Keeper has it. And that's not a bad play. That's not quite what you would like, but we are down. Hamburg has a legs to run, and that will be Hamburg moving down. 7-goal margin. And 16 on the ball, looking to shoot. Here comes a shot. And this one's in. 10-2. 8-goal margin, offhand. Keeper is a bit tired. Light's different. That seems to affect him negatively. On they have played a solid, let's call it 70% of defense. So eventually the floodgates open. So the battle at the face-off. In the earlier game between Hampstead and Amsterdam, we talked about the role of the face-off and how important it is. And there are kind of 2 key arguments to consider. The first one is that historically this is part of the game. It makes it fun to watch. It is interesting to see, and here we are. On the other side, there is an argument that it gives undue importance to a limited number of personnel and creates undue advantage. So here we go. 23 White unhappy with the referee and gives him an earful. Can genuinely say he's lucky he gets away with that one. Because there's no need. You're up by 9. You you at worst you end up losing the ball for your team. Well, he's done that now anyways. But here we go. 5 scoop just gets rid of it. Nordia are looking to limit damage here. It's also group stage matter in terms of how many goals you concede. You may choose to just not try to concede easily anymore and limit damage that you have. So good shot, good backup. Defense got onto that quite comfortably. But they feel this game. This was a lot of hard work. So here we go. Hamburg on the ball, and that's time. Hamburg seem discontent. I'm not quite sure why that would be, but the referees take a clear eye on how things are going. So let's see what the overall outcome is. Nothing. So seems Hamburg won the game. Nordia showed that they have the best goalie in the tournament so far, although the Amsterdam goalie also did really, really well. Um, we'll just have to see what that means in the grand scheme of things. We only had two group games today. After the group games, we will see a playoff and then the finals on Sunday. I think Hamburg, if they were to see Hampstead, need to appreciate that Hampstead, if they played them today in this way, will be a challenge. And they have to figure out what they're going to do that. They have, of course, the game tape because we have put this up on YouTube and you can rewatch all of this. And if you really want to, just put it on mute and you don't have to listen to me or Rick McCurry, although he was way better and more informed than I was in the last game. So here we are. Two times the favorite won today. Two times a spirited and well done effort on the other side. And I think Nordia is here to stay and definitely will produce a quality ranking due to the quality of the team they brought over. The first game starts tomorrow around 9 o'clock. Just follow the YouTube channel here and you'll see what's happening. We will talk to you then. In the meantime, if you're in Ghent, enjoy the event here and the city itself, and I'll talk to all of you tomorrow morning. Thank you and goodbye.